We are live. Well, there's a slight delay, but yes, we are now live. Cool.
Okay.
So, I mean, wait a couple of minutes. Guys, just joining the stream, welcome. Tracy will be starting the talk in just under a minute. Please just hold on tight. Right, guys, I'm going to mute myself and disappear. Tracy, feel free to go.
Okay. Great. Okay. We'll start in, say, in a minute or so. Just kind of try and get as many students to join. The class starts at 10:45, so not all of them will be online as yet.
Okay.
Okay. So I was just going to.
Phones on silent.
Phones on silent. Yeah. And you know what's going to happen, Rob? You will get your doorbell will ring, because that's always happens.
Deliveries.
Oh dear. Okay. Okay, I think we'll start. Right, okay, good morning, Business and Enterprise Pathway. Thank you very much for joining us this morning for our live YouTube assembly. We're very happy to have Richard and Rob with us today. I'm going to ask them shortly for them to introduce themselves and give you some information about them and the industry they work in and sort of their career journey so far. So Richard, if I could start with you.
Sure.
If you could just basically introduce yourselves to the students. I know they are online and listening, even though you can't see them. But
that's probably for the best. Anyway.
So yeah, please just tell us about yourself and your career journey so far. Thanks.
Sure. So I grew up quite locally, so in Chingford. I went to Heathcote School. Then I went to Hymes Park Sixth Form College, where I'd done economics, business studies and maths for A-level. I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the start of my journey, to be honest. I just stuck with the same subject. So I went to university to Portsmouth for 4 years. I studied economics, banking and finance. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do even when I finished university. So the first job I had was in trading. So I was trading financial markets, futures and options for about a year. After that, I wanted to get a more stable job. So I worked at a few of the big banks. I worked at Royal Bank of Scotland for 6 months to a year, didn't really enjoy it. I've been around a lot of different places, to be honest. I've worked at Deloitte, and then I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers. So that was my longest serving job. I was there for about 3 years. Decided I wanted to go back into investments, but not the trading side. So I ended up going to St. James's Place, which is a wealth management company where I'm at now. Worked in a small partnership practice, although the company is quite huge. The way the company's set up is like an umbrella company. So we have individual businesses and partners sitting underneath. So I thought it would be good to work for an individual rather than a large corporation, because you're more likely to be seen. The career progression is likely to be better, which it has been. I had to start at the very bottom when I got there. Started as an administrator, I worked my way up. And now I'm an advisor in the practice, so one under the partner level. Got a big bank of clients, high net worth, all the way down to my friends who aren't high net worth. Help them really manage their finances, so grow their wealth, save on tax, and then protect what they have, basically. And that's my job at the moment.
Yeah,
that kind of summarizes everything.
Yeah, great. And I know hopefully as we're talking through, you'll give us some more information about that, which is great. Yeah. So Rob, yes, if you wouldn't mind as well, please introduce yourself and tell us about your career journey so far.
Absolutely. So my name is Rob Mansford. I'm a financial planner with Woodford Wealth Consultancy. Much like Richard, that is a a small consultancy based under the umbrella of St James's Place. I've been with SJP now for 6 years. Previously to that, I was in the recruitment market. So I was working with IT contractors, telecom contractors, and management consultants all over the world, helping them, introducing them to contract roles, short-term and long-term. Previous to that, I was at university. I studied criminology and law at Lincoln University. Very much the same as Richard, to be honest. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So furthered some education. I was a keen rugby player, so basically went to uni to play some rugby and get an education in the background. But then leaving university, again, still unsure of what I wanted to do, but I knew that I needed to go out and earn some money and develop the skills that I picked up throughout education. So went into recruitment, very much a face-to-face and telephone-based job. So really just building rapport, understanding what it meant to be in a professional environment. And from there, I thought that use my transferable skills, understand that, being confident with people, being confident in front of people, where could this be best placed? And, a bit of research and looked at wealth management. And I found that was something that I really thought would be good for me. And up until now, it's been very good, actually.
Yeah, I suppose, I mean, the idea is that you go into banking, accountancy, finance, and wealth management, to make money, I would think. But I mean, I'm just thinking for our students, just taking that question on a little bit more, what is wealth management, and how does that differ to, say, banking or finance? Because I know maybe a lot of our students might not be aware of that term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you want to take that one, Rich?
Yeah, well, so wealth management is to do with someone's personal financial management rather than big corporations and big dealings. Is high net worth individuals. So managing their wealth, and that encompasses, well, growing their wealth, as I explained. So that involves fund allocation, asset allocation, making sure they're in the right investment products, making sure they've got the right funds, making sure the fund managers are performing, making sure they've got the right asset allocation to do with their investment time horizon. And it's also to do with protecting that. So it involves protection type products, life assurance, to make sure that if they weren't around, their family is well catered for. If they were ill, for example, that their income's protected. And it also involves tax planning, so inheritance tax planning, making sure that their money passes through the generations. It involves personal tax planning and business tax planning as well. So if they've got a small business, tax planning opportunities around that. It involves retirement planning, so this involves pensions, other sorts of investments. So really just help someone relax, do their job, concentrate on their family, their friends, whatever they want. And then we handle their day-to-day finance, which is quite time consuming for someone who has a lot of wealth. The amount of work we put in definitely saves them a lot of time to concentrate on what they want to do. So
yeah. Okay, great. That's really interesting. And I think also, obviously, people don't have the knowledge that you guys have. So
yeah, I think there's a big opportunity cost of what we do, because some people do it themselves, but then if they don't do something that's completely accurate, it could cost them thousands of pounds, especially if they were dealing with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds into investments. If they don't choose the right one, they do it themselves, the opportunity cost of that could be tens of thousands of pounds up to, depending on how much they invest or what they want to do with their money. And that's definitely true in business as well. I don't know if Rob's got anything to add. But.
Yeah, I mean, for me, working in wealth management covers, well, Richard covered it off very well. We protecting wealth, making decisions that are probably, as you say, need more education around the type of decisions that the high net worth individuals are making. But also stripping it back somewhat, it's really understanding what your future looks like to you, understanding how much money is enough, and whether that means you're a high net worth individual, whether that means you're just starting out in your career, actually understanding the importance of money and understanding the importance of building a nest egg for the future is where we're able to help our clients out, whether that be saving for something in specifics, or really just understanding what it means to put some money aside now and how that will look for people in the future. we're here to offer that advice. And you know, that's what we've trained for, what we've studied for, what we've done the extra exams for.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right. You know, there's an awful lot of things going on in people's lives, and you've got family, we've got your own jobs, you've got all these other concerns. The last thing you really want to be doing is worrying about, have I got enough for the future? So that's where we can step in and help people make better decisions.
Yeah, excellent. I think we all need some of that.
Yeah, and I think getting a grasp on it early, if I knew what I knew now at 18 or something like that, my financial future would be a lot brighter. I mean, the best time to invest is either 10 years ago or today, and to start putting some money aside and getting your budget and finance in order now, you'll look back in 10 years and really thank yourself that you started putting money away, at least into something. And it's really easy to just set up an ISA, really tax efficient way, and just start putting money aside. I know it's difficult because some of you might not be working, but that compounded growth over 10 years, you could be able to buy yourself a car or put a deposit down for a house. So just starting early, I'd say, is the best advice I could give anyone right now.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that moves us on really well to my next question is the reality of your work what you thought it was going to be? So yeah. I don't know who wants to take that one.
I had no idea what it was going to be like. I just knew I didn't want to do the job I was doing. I felt like I was in a rat race. Everyone competing for the same prize, making people work ridiculously long hours. And I just felt like I wasn't getting noticed. And to move into somewhere like St James's Place, I didn't actually know what I'd be doing. So everything was new to me. And even before I even joined, I really thought, moving into the role, it's really not what I wanted to do when I first started out. I'd always said to myself, I don't really want a sales type role. And ultimately, people are buying products. Although we're advising them and doing the right thing, ultimately, we're trying to, put them into products and give them a service. And I'd always been terrified of picking up the phone, making calls and things like that. And when I even started at St James's Place, it was even difficult for me to call providers up through fear of, what are they going to think of me? What are they going to, And after a while, you just had to keep going towards that fear. And the more I went towards the fear, the better I became at it. Doing this now, I would never have been able to do this. I don't know how many people are there, but
we've got 63 online.
And now I have to,
no pressure. No pressure.
I need to know I need to know my staff and be able
71. There you go.
Be able to articulate that to people who are seriously, they're high net worth, they know their stuff, they've made it in their particular industry, and being able to explain something to them and sit in the same room and have a conversation and, be on the same level of them was really quite nerve-wracking at first. But as you moving towards your fear is the best way forward, I think, because otherwise it's just going to hold you back all your life, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely brilliant advice. Yeah. And I think, hopefully students, we've got 71 online now, can identify with what you've said, that actually you felt, very apprehensive at their age, and you've managed to overcome that by just kind of getting on with it and just pushing through that.
On to that fear, if you really think, if I hold on to this fear for the next 5 years, 10 years, regardless of what the fear is, if you imagine your life in 5 years believing that fear to be true, how is your life going to look compared to where you want it to be? It's not going to be anywhere near where you want it to be. If I was too afraid to answer the phone, if I was too afraid to sit in front of someone, to sell something, to book a meeting, to go to a meeting, to, do all of these things, to network, if I had held on to that, where would I be? I would be just an administrator, probably. Nowhere near where I wanted to be, not earning the money I wanted to do, not having the life I want to live. It's just, you need to do this for yourself. And the fear's just bullshit anyway, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it brings me on, actually. I'm going to ask Rob, I'll ask you in a minute, but I know there's actually a really good, talking about that, there's a really good book out at the moment called The Fear Bubble by Ant Middleton. I don't know if you've read that, but that's what he talks about, that,
okay.
fear
Yeah.
holding you back. But anyway, that's a side
Yeah.
thing. So Rob, so for you then, so is the reality of your work what you thought it was going to be?
I mean, yeah, much like Richard, I wasn't expecting anything in wealth management. I actually thought that it was going to be boring banking, and it's going to be just talking about numbers and showing graphs all the time. But actually, it's massively different. I love what we do. I really do. I think we get such a at the end of the day, people are trusting me with their money, and money is so personal to people, and it's so important to everyone. And for them to be making decisions based upon my advice, it's a really gratifying situation where people are, looking to me to tell them what to do with their money. And I think everyone's different. Everyone has their own aims, their own objectives, their own ultimate goals. And for me to be able to help different people means that my job's completely varied. Like every day I'll speak to someone who has something slightly different to talk about. And I think that's essentially what gets me out of bed. That's what helps me to be able to do my job most effectively, is by understanding people and helping them out. So yeah, I think I was very apprehensive about what it was going to be when I first started. I thought, just go into it, eyes open, be willing to learn, be willing to adapt, be willing to be the best you can be. And at the end of that, if you put in the best you can, then you'll get out the best as well from this job. And I think that's for all walks of life. I think no matter what you're going to go and do, no matter what you're going to go and try and become, try it, give it your best. And if it's not for you, you'll know about it, but you'll get the best back from it if you do put the most in.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant advice. Thank you. So, yeah, I think you've probably answered this, Richard. But so what advice would you give your 16, 17-year-old self?
Can you just repeat that?
Yeah. So just thinking about where you are now, what advice would you have given your 16, 17-year-old self?
Well, putting the finances to one side, I think I've not covered it completely, but yeah, just I would say, regardless of whether you want to go to university or not, totally immersing yourself in a subject would be the best way forward, because regardless of, if you don't want to go to university, I mean, I would go if I was you, it's great. Totally immersing yourself. So finding role models. So, people who are successful leave clues. If you can speak to them directly or be around them, you're going to start to become like them. Successful people have good habits. They don't major in minor things like bloody Facebook and crap like that. They concentrate on their subject and they become, they master it, basically. I would say that, and just, building up habits to keep repeating positive habits, keep doing that every day. And it's going to be even more important once you, leave school and go to university or you start studying. If you get into bad habits and you start doing the wrong things, you're just going to go down the wrong path. If you wake up every morning, read a book based on your subject and study and, do positive things, you're going to put yourself on a positive track. I would say that, because there's so many negative, and I've been down them all, went 16, 17, moving through university, hung out with wrong people, done the wrong things. And eventually, if you carry on down that path, you're just going to end up doing nothing with your life, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that's a really important message for our students, because kind of you guys have been there, done that, and so
you won't even know these people if you hang around with the wrong people, you won't even know them in 5 years' time. You'll be looking back in your penthouse or whatever and just thinking, well, that was a waste of my time. Waste your time with those people because they just want to hold you back. If that is, if that's the case, I'm not saying it's for everyone.
Yeah. Excellent advice. Thank you. Rob, what about you?
For me, I think if I go back, 17, 18, so that's school time, wasn't it? I think for me, go and get experience. Just get experience in all walks of life. I think I cut my teeth in my career by being in my career. And I think, let me try and rephrase it. I think I was a bit too late to learning. I think I spent an awful lot of time 16, 17, 18, probably wasting my free time, wasting the opportunity to go and get some work experience in a firm, or understand what it was like to be outside of the education system. And I think, could I go back and do that now? Maybe work with a few different firms, understand what it meant to be. I would come out of university better. I would have known what I was going to be walking into, because I'd already experienced a bit of that lifestyle before actually getting a job. So I think, yeah, if I could go back now, I probably would have gone and got some more work experience and just understood it a little bit more, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's lead time, essentially. If you know what work's like before you've even started your first proper job, then you're going to excel quicker. I think, there's an awful lot of getting a job, and then you've got to learn what it's like, and
do something you love at an early age as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to be hating your job, because you won't get anywhere.
Yeah, excellent advice. And I think, certainly for the work experience, we do have a fantastic program of work experience, and especially at the moment, we are sort of giving students the opportunity to apply for virtual work experience. So students, while you're listening, actually on Friday, you will, as part of your employability passport, will have live opportunities that you can actually apply for on Friday. So, great that you can do that. So it's sorry. Oh, gosh.
How unprofessional.
So yeah, look out for Fridays. One thing I wanted to ask you, we've got a question from a student who's wanting to study business at university, but they're concerned and worried about getting into debt, I suppose, student finance and their loan. Yeah. And would it be better to go straight into work instead?
Don't worry about that. Honestly, I mean, the debt, I've still got the debt now. It's not a debt. No one's going to chase you for that debt. As in, if you apply for government loans, that loan, you only pay it back after you earn a certain amount. So I think it's like 30,000, 25, something like that. And then it's just like an extra tax. If you don't have a job, they're not going to come knocking at your door for the money. And I don't know why that's kind
mortgage or anything like that. It won't.
Yeah, I don't know why it's
the lending
sold as a debt. It is. It's you're going to pay an extra tax when you earn over a certain amount, but university is going to put you on track to earn. It's going to open doors for you rather than anything, because some companies, you're just a number and you're just a piece of paper at the start for these huge companies, and they're going to look and they're going to see if you've been to university. That's just life. And if you haven't been to university and you want to get into these big companies, you're going to have to start at the very bottom and then put in a massive amount of effort and show yourself to be, totally immersed in the subject. You love the subject. You live the life, and then you will find a way in. If you want.
I think that's a good point, actually. I think if you're going to go to university and you're going to study business, first and foremost, have an aim in sight. So know what you want to do. If it's just studying, or if you want to go to a certain company or something like that, look at the type of roles they do. But I think twin your experience in university and add some exposure to the industry throughout your time at uni. Some of the most successful people that I've known at university or outside have gone through university but used their free time to work in that industry as well, either volunteering or work placements or anything like that. And in fact, so many huge organizations, particularly those in sort of the banking sector and finance sector, they want students to not only come out of a degree, but they want them to have some actual experience with their business.
Yeah.
That they can take, not only learn at university, but also the skill sets that they've had during their time. And there'll be fast tracks. You'll see yourself in a fast track scheme, graduate schemes, all of those things. And you'll be head and shoulders above the competition.
Yeah. And I think
Sorry.
I was going to say that actually on that point, there are a lot of university degrees that actually include industry placements or 1 year placements.
Yeah. Going back to that question, the actual debt, if you research it a bit yourself, you'll realize that, it's not really a debt. It's not something that people are going to chase after you for.
No.
They'll just send, I get the letter, I look at it and I'm like, in the bin. No, honestly, because I don't have to do anything. They just take a little bit out of my pay.
Yeah, they're not very good looking.
They don't take it out.
Letters.
Who cares, really? Because you'll be on you'll have a degree at the end.
You'll get far more out of it.
You have network. I mean, you can build your network up at university, which is, definitely do that. because you don't really, if you don't know well, a network's always great, contacts are always great, and you can build them up at university. I didn't build them up at all, so I'm just telling you this. You should do that.
learn by
don't
what
play
you
video
didn't
games
do.
in your room most of the time, because you won't have any.
Oh dear. Yeah, definitely. Great. Fantastic advice. So what do you think are the main challenges in your role? So we've talked about all the positive stuff, but what do you think are the main challenges?
I think everyone's personal financial situation is different. It's all, someone with a lot of money and a complicated life is going to have a more complicated financial situation. Sorry, what was the question again?
No, what are the challenges?
Oh, the challenges. Yeah, because everyone's different. So every case is different. And you do have to know a lot, really. There's all different avenues that you have to know about. And some are true for some people and some are true for others. And everyone's slightly different and what they want to achieve in life. It's all about the person, the individual, what they want to do with their life. And we'll base all of their finances around that to help them achieve it. And to make their life easier, basically. I would say that, to be honest.
Yeah. How about you, Rob?
I think one of the biggest challenges that clients bring to me is that they think that they're not wealthy enough to have a wealth manager. So they say, I haven't got enough wealth for that. And I think it's a misconceived idea. I think there's an awful lot we can do to help everyone in all walks of life. And I think, again, it's down to trust. So if people come with a preconceived idea that they're going to have, not enough money, or they're not the right client for me, really, I think it's a case of having to work with them, get them to onboard and trust the process, and eventually we do manage to work things out. But hey, look, it's not for everyone. Some people want to go and do it themselves. Some people just want to sit there and talk about Bitcoin the whole time, which is just...
I hate that. And I hate it when I say, it's a bit of a risky investment, and then they show me their portfolio and it's risen like 20 times. And I'm like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But it also can drop very quickly.
Oh,
as
God,
well.
yeah. It's the quickest way.
Well, Tesla have just invested into it. It's just shot up again. And every time it shoots up, I just,
It's the bubble.
Should
anyway, let's not go on to that.
Just forget that subject.
Well, okay, let's erase that bit then. Okay, so actually I've got a question from a student just come through. So how much does the richest person you help earn?
£1 million a year or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's probably our top client. She's a barrister. But she earns a ridiculous amount of money. It makes me cry.
No, we've got a whole range. In our practice, we've got a whole range. So we've got some clients that have got net worth of around 15, 16 million with us, which is obscene levels of money, to be honest. But that comes from multiple business sales. It comes from a whole lifetime of building assets. They didn't come to us with that amount of money. They've that's good, smart decisions that they've done from an early age to accumulate wealth within their life. I've got clients that are on board now. I've got 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds. They've done a few years of work, been in university. They haven't got an awful lot of money, but what they have got is fantastic habits, and that is regular savings pattern. Understanding the importance of money today means a lot more money in the future, providing it's in the right investment vehicle, and an openness to say, do you know what, I don't know anything about finance. I want to be able to look after myself in the future, and I trust you to be able to do that. Their time's much better off spent doing the things that they're good at. So, that's why they entrust me to do that I'm good at. So look, it's never too early to start, but it does help if you want money in the future, you need to start putting it somewhere. So
money makes money.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
So start putting it away now, and it will start growing. And it will start compounding, and leave it up to professional fund managers to do the business for you, basically.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely brilliant advice. And I think on that,
there's a lot of advertisement and there's a lot of pressure on people to start trading for themselves. It's a quick rich scheme. There's no get quick rich scheme. They don't exist. You have to be very lucky to do that. No one's made long-term gains from just trading daily. And I know that from being a trader, trust me.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic advice. And we've had, 71 students listening to you.
Right.
So for the last half an hour or so, and I think what you've given them is brilliant advice. So on that note, unless there was anything else, I'll kind of wrap this up. If there's anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, I was just going to say that, you know, as I mentioned to you before, Tracy, we've got a financial health check questionnaire that I'm happy to share with you, which will provide, you know, anyone who fills it out a really nice informative PDF to really just identify the areas where they probably could do with some additional help and whatnot. Happy to share that around, you know, and if anyone needs any questions answering or anything like that, you know, we're on LinkedIn or anything like that. If they need to share, I'm happy to respond.
Yeah, I'll post something around as well, just with my contact information and things like that. So if anyone's got any questions, just honestly,
okay,
email me or send me a message.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
We'll definitely share that financial health check with students and get them to start thinking about
Send it
their
to your parents.
situation.
Yeah, there's some other useful bits of information I could send around as well, just to, you know, get them started.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, because there's some very awkward conversations that you could start if you go home and say, you know, how are you financially for the future?
We're screwed, actually.
What's the next thing you can leave for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talk to my dad about that. He'd wouldn't like it.
Oh dear. Great. Well, thank you both so much on this wintry, snowy afternoon or morning. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys giving up your time to talk to our students. So thank you. And I hope you both have a great day. And I'll look forward to receiving that information through.
No
okay,
problem.
then. Thank you.